Early mornings, late at night, tapping away. All I can say is it seemed like a good idea at the time, and I presume most of you will know what it feels like. Now, unlike many of you, I wasn't studying anything particularly practical or directly relevant to my career. My thesis was in political history, but I was just listening to all the subjects as you've been called up, and there really is a range of material that you've studied and that you've mastered, ranging from crime scene investigation to data protection to employment law, from early childhood care and education to bereavement and grief studies. Literally from the cradle to the grave, from birth to death, all human life is here in the knowledge that you have gained and that hopefully you'll get to put into practice in the very near future. I'm sure there are many different motives that drove you to pursuing a qualification like this. Perhaps some of you wanted a promotion at work. Perhaps some of you wanted to change career entirely. Maybe like me, you were just interested in the subject and wanted to know more about it. Or maybe some amongst you simply like studying. Some of you perhaps, after a long, hard day at work, can't wait to get home and crack open the books. Or perhaps not. But if this is the case, I'm glad to be able to tell you that you are not alone. There are those who love study for its own sake. Let me read you an extract from a letter written by a 19-year-old BA student to a younger sibling, and you'll get an idea of what I mean. As regards your studies, if you want to succeed, it will only be by strenuous work. Fair enough. Never be idle. Good advice. At first, work will be hard, but it will soon be lovable in itself. What? I love study so much that if it were taken from me, I would feel for the loss of my best friend. Now there is someone who is taken to extremes. Who was this paragon? Well, the author of that letter was Edward, soon to rename himself Eamon de Valera. You may have heard of him. At the time, he was 19 years old, a student at Blackrock College, beavering away at his BA, and he was writing to his American-based half-brother, Thomas Wheelwright, who just started secondary school himself. Now, at this stage, the two of them had never actually met, which didn't stop Dev giving advice. He could usually be relied on to think he knew best, even for somebody who was a stranger. And this wasn't just an act to impress the younger sibling. Young Dev was deadly serious about his studies, according to a timetable he wrote out for himself at around this time. Up at 5:45 a.m, study geometry from 6 to half 7 when you eat breakfast. Then 2 hours of algebra and another hour of geometry between 8:30 and 11:30, which was time for lunch. Then comics from noon to 2:30. I have no idea what comics are, so do lines or circles, I think. And then from 5 to 7, 2 hours on natural philosophy, followed by dinner. Then 3 hours on trigonometry and equations from 7:30 to 10:30, which was then followed by reading for an unspecified period of time. Now, it is no wonder that the poor man went blind in later life. But it's safe to say that the future Taoiseach and President was a bit of a swat. But I wonder, was he taking things too far, as he sometimes tended to do? Is it healthy to concentrate solely on your studies? Or is it more productive to have more balance in your lives? Well, all I can say about De Valera is that while he was a super swot who regarded study as his best friend, he was very disappointed only to get a pass in his BA finals. And when he tried to do an exam in Trinity, he managed to score 0%. So I think, as with lots of things, moderation is the key. Work-life balance really is important. And if you add studying to the mix, it's even more important to get that balance right. Because I know from experience that doing what all of you have done is not without cost. It requires you to do certain things and to miss out on other things. And the biggest thing, I'm guessing, from my own experience, that it required from you was time. The hours spent at lectures, or reading, or writing essays, whatever it was. But it's also required real intellectual effort. You've either had to learn about something that's completely new to you, or if you've been studying something related to your job, you've had to think about it in a fresh way, in a completely different approach to something that might seem familiar on the surface. And you've missed out, I'm quite sure, whether it was a weekend away with the girls, or a night out with the lads, or simply just time sitting in front of the telly, relaxing. There is a cost to doing what you have done, in what you have put in, and what you've missed out on. And that is why we are here today. That is why we're dressed up in the gear. That is why we honour your efforts and celebrate your achievements. And I am sure that those efforts and those achievements will be rewarded. Maybe you'll get the promotion you were looking for. Maybe you'll branch out into a new career. But even if that doesn't happen, I know from my own experience that taking on a course of study while you're working is a challenge that stretches you, which makes you, if not a better person, at the very least, a better informed person. You now have a better idea of what you can achieve, a better idea of your own skills and abilities, and you should cherish that knowledge. And that will stand to you wherever life takes you. I hope that you will look back on your studies as time well spent, and that you will look back on today as a fitting end to a challenging but ultimately rewarding period in your lives. That truly would be worth celebrating. Thank you for letting me be part of your day, and congratulations again to all.
David, thank you so much for those words. Without wishing to get too carried away, you will be a further inspiration, I know, to a church full of lifelong learners here today, so thank you very much. Well, can you believe that we're now coming to the end of our ceremony? I don't know how I'm looking at you. I can see one lady up the front here getting teary, saying, "John, make sure this day never ends." Be careful about that. Before we leave you though, I'd like to remind you that our reception will be held just over the side of the church, so please ensure that you come and join us after the ceremony for some handshakes, catch-ups, pictures, and I think there might even be some drink, all to the lyrical tones of our violinist here today, Niamh O'Connor. Shortly, academic staff will possess back the way we came, at least that is the plan. So once the music commences, please could I ask you all to stand as proud colleges of the various colleges of City Education Group. Today is an occasion, as you're well aware, of great celebration, and so we will naturally recess out to the beautiful sound of Symphony No. 9, Beethoven's Ode to Joy, played with piano and trumpet.